What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, just finished watching a video of Dmitry Bivol. Let me say, if more fighters understood the mindset that he has, they would probably be more successful in the ring. I mean, you can be confident and still lose. I'm pretty confident fighters lose often. Okay, they just come against a fighter that was just a better fighter. But in terms of focus, let me say this. You never know what's going to happen come fight night. But I'm watching an interview with Dmitry Bivol, and Dmitry Bivol is not getting caught up into the hype, whether they're talking about Jai or Pattaya, whether they're talking about him versus Canelo. He responds to the questions. He'll answer a question that he's asked, but he doesn't feed into it. Um, you know, he has Artur Beterbiev in front of him, and that's the focus. And this is what fighters need to understand. You can be focused on a fighter. Like I said, somebody has to win, somebody has to lose, right? Possible draw. But the questions that he's asked about even Beterbiev, and you've been active, you got a good stoppage win last time, and how do you feel like that helps you? And he said, I don't know. He said, for me, it was good, but I don't know. Like it's a different fighting Beterbiev. Whoever, every fight is a different fight. So you can't go into the next fight being high off of the win of the last fight. Now, people was, always say, hey, if it motivates you, fine. But at the same time, once again, it's a different fight. It's a different style. It's a different guy. It's a different night. I respect that, his answer and how he responds, because you see, you got a lot of fighters that will make a video saying, hey, I want this guy, right? 3-4 more videos later, they're talking about fighting 3-4 different guys. It's like, man, who do you want to fight? What is your focus? Now, once you get a fight locked in, if it's me, I'm saying, listen, I don't want to talk about fighting Deontay Wilder. I don't want to talk about fighting Anthony Joshua. My focus is Tyson Fury. You understand? Whoever the fighter that I'm going in the ring with, that's the questions I want to answer. That's the fight I'm building. That's where we're going. That's what we have on the table. I don't want to talk about no other fighter except for the fighter in front of me. Now, after I beat Tyson Fury, then we can talk about who's next. And then once I lock one of those fights in, we'll talk about that opponent and that opponent only. But I really like, his confidence, his calmness. He's not trying to, slay his opponents, which is one thing I always say. People always, they feel the need to call each other trash. They call each other all these names, and people say, oh, that's good for boxing. It's good. No, it's really not. It's bullshit. Because if you don't live up to the hype, it's a quick way for the people cheering for you to start to boo you. It's a quick way for the people who already boo you to boo you some more. So if you're doing it to try to entertain the fans, and I'm just going to say the first thing come to my head, disrespectful towards my opponent because I want to impress them, you're not going to really have the type of fight, the type of career that you really want if that's your mindset. They asked him about Canelo. He said I don't think about Canelo at all. He said we could have fought more than a year ago, and he just talks like he don't need to talk to whoever he interview or whatever. He needs to talk to Eddie Hearn. So I'm not thinking about Canelo, and this is exactly why. When you have certain fighters that are the cash cows, they get the ego because it's like they're toying around, and like I'll say this person's name, but then don't fight them. And the funny thing about even the Canelo fight is people make it seem like it's like are people really that delusional? They make it seem like Canelo beat Bivol, and he's giving Bivol a chance. No, you are the cash cow. You are the bigger star between you and Bivol, but Bivol beat you. So, you're not doing. Listen, it's business. Okay, first off, it's not a favor. It's business. at the same time, you fighting people like Berlanga, these guys who haven't earned anything, you can say those are favors, okay? Especially when nobody cares about those fights. Now, Canelo and Berlanga did bigger numbers than what people expected, for sure. I know it was over 600,000, pay-per-view buys, but at the end of the day, that was more of a people make it into a Mexico versus Puerto Rico thing, whatever. But listen, at the end of the day, man, the mindset of fighters, I feel like they just get so caught up into, focusing on what's next after this fight or the possibility of, Anthony Joshua doesn't talk about fighting other guys. He'll just answer a question. He talks about the guy in front of him, and he fell short against Dubois. So the same thing could happen to Dmitry Bivol. I'm pulling for him against Beterbiev, but we'll see. But at the end of the day, that's what we need. People to be more focused. These interviewers, man, they just ask the same exact questions over and over just to get the interview in. I mean, even like when I hear an interviewer ask a fighter, why did you take this fight? That's what they do. They're fighters, right? That's what fighters do. Why did you take this interview? Like, they ask the same lame questions over and over, man. Like, so it's one of these things, man, where like the same lame questions most of the time get the same lame answers, same responses. But at the end of the day, man, I do like Dmitry Bivol's mindset. And like you said, sometime I might be able to use my speed more. Sometime I might be able to use my skills more, or, and that's what it is. It's a fight by fight basis, and you have to adjust to your opponent. Just like we said, the mistakes that Dubois made, why would anybody think that he was going to beat Anthony Joshua? And notice how in this fight, yes, AJ fought, very flat and amateur-like, but notice how Dubois wasn't making those same mistakes, and technically he was better than we ever seen him. Like, just he was on point. Like I said, he kept his head off that center line. He wasn't standing there hopping, anticipating to try to just wait with his hands down. No, AJ was the one with his hands down and not fighting the way he was supposed to. So you can't depend on someone to make mistakes. You can't depend on injuries to catch up with a person or things of that nature. You really can't. So this is why you always heard me say too, there's things that Dubois he needs to fix that definitely about himself. And like, he kind of does the way Shane used to do. How Shane was standing there, hop up, waiting, trying to land one good shot. Shane would take 3 or 4 just to try to land one. Dubois would just kind of wait, paw with his jab, leave his hands open, and get hit with unnecessary shots just to land a shot. Now, you compare Dubois, the way he fought AJ, versus the fight he just had before that. Now, he won the fight, but at the same time, Dubois was making those same mistakes in that fight, getting hit with shots that he didn't have to get hit with, even though he won. So, against AJ, he was more sharp. Now, when you listen to the interview with Dmitry Bivol, the interviewer asked him, do you think that the injuries and things would catch up with, Beterbiev? And he said that he doesn't depend on mistakes. He doesn't depend on injuries. Like, he just, coming to fight, basically expecting the best version of, Beterbiev. And that's the mindset you need to have, because once again, if you depend on, well, this dude just had a surgery not too long ago, or this just happened to this guy, this guy normally makes this and that kind of mistake, you look for them in the fight, but you can't depend on them. So this is the thing about a fighter, man. You have to have the mindset to be able to adjust and readjust, and that's what it's about. So there's no one particular thing. If it's not working, don't depend on that one particular thing. You look at what you have to do, and it's why when I hear people talk about boxing, I hear MMA fighters, oh man, it's boring. All you do is punch. There's no elbows, knees, kick, all this. Yeah, I know, and that's why they come in the ring and get their asses tore up, because they try to make it seem like, they want to be able to say that, boxing is so less superior than MMA, but yet they think they can jump in there and fight a boxer and win. But Then when they get, knocked out, why don't you come into MMA? It's like, well, because there's no money in MMA. That's why. We're not going to make anything close to what we're making. In fact, all of these MMA guys make their biggest paycheck when they do a crossover fight. And it's not even close to what they normally get, even though they're a top star in MMA. So, it is what it is. But yeah, I just like the way Dmitry Bivol handles himself in front of the camera, and I feel like he's just the same person on or off camera. He doesn't go into this act of let me say this and that to try to hype the people up or try to belittle my opponent. He seems like he just speaks genuinely and he answers whatever questions, but he lets you know that I'm not focused on these guys. I'm not gonna, just because the camera's on me, let me go into ripping into Canelo. Let me go into ripping into Jao Patai. He even said that Turkey Al-Sheikh says to him that he want to put a fight together between the two of them, and he's like, yeah, well, right now I want to focus on my weight class and I want to become undisputed, and then if I can, complete that, whatever, then we can talk about what's next with Jao Patai and whatever we can make happen with him. But until now, I have no interest. We don't even need to talk about him. That's the answers that these guys need. That's what they need to get. Because at the end of the day, now you're accountable for your own actions, and if you lose focus, that's on you. But we need this all across the board. The interviews need to be better. These questions need to be more, more reasonable. And this is one of the reasons why, like, when it comes to, like, if you look at a lot of these numbers for these interviews, that's why only the bigger channels are always the ones with the bigger numbers. But it's like same interview, just with a different person. They ask the same questions, and it's like, man, come on, man, are you seriously asking me that? You go back to when AJ fought Wallin and Wilder fought Parker, man, that was so disrespectful that people are sitting there. They got all these fighters up on the panel, and they're talking to AJ like he's fighting Wilder and not like he's fighting Wallin. They're talking to Wilder like he's fighting AJ and not Parker. It's like, are you serious? And I'm looking, shit, man, if I'm fighting either one, I'm like, man, listen, no disrespect to you, but why the fuck are you asking him questions about him? I'm fighting this motherfucker. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm saying. Jarrell Miller was even talking more about Anthony Joshua than he was, Daniel Dubois. We need for people to really step up, man. Like, all this cursing and swearing just to try to slander your opponent. No. Let's put things in order, man. Let's put things in order. And this is why you can make a video and, you can make a video talking about AJ versus Wilder. Somehow the comment section turns into fights that have nothing to do with the video. Because this is what people are used to doing. So, yeah, man, thumbs up to Dmitry Bivol for the way he conducted himself. And hey, I hope it's a good fight. May the best man win. I don't personally care who wins. I just like Bivol better as a fighter, and so I'm pushing for him to win. But should he lose, y'all know I don't give two fucks. I'm not going to be losing sleep. And again, if something happens where I feel like making a little meme of him, I will. But anyway, salute to both of them. May the best man win. That's all I got for y'all now. Remember, never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings you out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.